This question comes from a viewer named AJ, who asked, when I was about 8 years old, shoveling snow on a freezing day in Colorado, I wished I could instantly be transported to the surface of the sun just for a nanosecond and then brought right back. I figured that would be long enough to warm me up, but not enough to cause harm. What would actually happen? Well, the surface of the sun sits at around 5,800 Kelvin. Long exposure there would obviously be fatal, but a nanosecond? That's incredibly brief. Light only travels about a foot in that time. Let's assume you're facing the sun directly. Normally, it's not advisable to stare at the sun, but if it fills your entire field of vision, you wouldn't have much of a choice. In that single nanosecond, your eyes would receive about 1 microjoule of light energy. To put that in perspective, it's similar to the amount of light your eyes absorb if you quickly open and close them in front of a bright computer screen. Is there even a term for that? Like a reverse blink? There should be. Anyway, while you're there, photons would flood into your eyes and strike your retinal cells. But here's the catch. By the time your brain starts processing those signals, you'd already be back home. The retina takes a few milliseconds or tens of millions of nanoseconds to fully react. So all you'd perceive is a sudden bright flash that lingers a bit, even though your visit was instant. As for your skin, it would absorb about 0.0001 joules per square centimeter. Pretty minimal. To compare, holding your finger in a butane lighter's flame for 1 second delivers about 5 joules per square centimeter, which is enough to cause a second-degree burn. So your brief solar hop wouldn't hurt, at least not on the surface. But here's the risky part. What if your coordinates were a bit off, and you ended up inside the sun instead? Unlike the relatively cool outer layer, the inner regions of the sun reach temperatures of several million degrees. According to the Stefan-Boltzmann law, you'd absorb a lethal dose of heat in just a femtosecond. A nanosecond, which is a million femtoseconds, would be catastrophic. And it's not just heat. Inside the sun, most of the radiation consists of X-rays, not visible light, which can penetrate your body, damage internal organs, and even ionize your DNA before you feel anything. Basically, you wouldn't survive to tell the tale. I realize I just said here's the good news before describing a horrible outcome, but hey, we all make mistakes. So no, a nanosecond inside the sun is not a good idea. In ancient Greek mythology, Icarus flew too close to the sun, and his wings melted. The moral there wasn't just about height, it was about time. Melting requires a certain amount of energy absorbed over time. Temperature alone isn't enough. So if you really must approach the sun, just remember, short hops are better than long stays. Would you survive a nanosecond on the sun? Tell us in the comments, or invent a crazier what-if question for our next video.